The Guardians are losers of 10 in a row, and the tough conversations are long overdue. Coming up, we'll talk about what things might look like going forward, from the looming trade deadline to the prospect promotion on the horizon. We'll touch on the Luis Ortiz controversy, how it affects this season and potentially the foreseeable future, and Jose Ramirez heading to his 7th All-Star game alongside Stephen Kwan, who's headed to his 2nd. How much longer can this organization screw them over before they've had enough? All that and much more incoherent, angry rambling coming up next.
3 guys, 2 generations, 1 baseball team. Just when you thought there were too many mediocre Guardians podcasts, we're here to bring you one more. This is the Die Hard Guards podcast with your hosts Brent, Tim, and Zian.
This is the Die Hard Guards podcast. I'm your host, Brent, here with my father, Tim.
Hello.
And my brother, Zian.
Hi.
This episode is brought to you, as always, by our friends at FOCO. FOCO is a leading manufacturer of officially licensed sports collectibles. They offer an incredible range of product options from bobbleheads to apparel and more. Find the best Cleveland Guardians gear at FOCO.com. That's FOCO, F-O-C-O.com. Or click on the link in the description below and use code DHGuards10 to save 10% at checkout. Offer applies to in-stock FOCO products only. Pre-order items do not apply. Find your fandom with FOCO.
I can't even make a good comment about bobbleheads right now.
Yeah, you know,
Normally, we would talk about the FOCO bobbleheads, but today, I'm just too sad.
there's a lot going on. So let's start on a positive note with the Good Vibes Guard of the Week.
You want me to go first?
If you want to.
I actually have 2.
You have 2.
I have 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you might have 2 more than me.
Surprisingly, I have 2 platoon players who
Stop it. Stephen Vogt hates platoons.
These are 2 platoon players, clearly. They do not play every game. They split time with other players. But
That might be too much playing time.
They, in the last 7 games, are our 2 leading hitters. So I'm going to give a shout out to number 1, Nolan Jones. In his last 7, he's hitting 286 with a 333 on base. But guess what? He sat today. So that makes sense. And I will also give a shout out to Mr. Angel Martinez, because he is also hitting 286 with a 333 on base in the last 7 games. But again, his 7 games are spread out over the last 2 weeks instead of 1 week.
Of course.
Because, of course, why would we play a guy who's actually hitting?
Sure.
So, yes, those are my 2 shout-outs. Those are 2 probably the best hitters on our team in the last week or so.
All right, Zian.
Yes.
Who do you got?
My good Guardian of the week is Luis Ortiz, because he made money off of everyone's misery in the clubhouse.
I don't think we should
Might be
use that as the
too
positive.
soon.
I don't think we should use that as the positive.
Oh.
I don't think we should do that.
We're going to get into that.
With the
do you
Ortiz
have
right away, Zian.
anyone
Nice.
else?
My other one is Cole Calhoun, because this is the most I've ever heard him
I don't think
mentioned
we should use
since
Cole
he
Calhoun.
retired.
I don't think we should use Cole Calhoun either.
All right. I'm going to go
Let's skip
with
Zian this week.
I'm going to go with Lane Thomas. And there's a really good reason
I thought
for
we
that.
were skipping Zian.
Hang on. Lane Thomas has played just well enough in his last 10 games where teams are going to start considering him a valuable trade asset.
Oh, here we go.
I wouldn't say valuable.
Oh, boy.
Okay, a cheap
listen.
trade asset.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll be on the low end
Okay.
of the trade deadline, but you'll be able to get something for him at least.
Yeah.
Whereas before, you were getting nothing for him, and you were going to have to watch him play out the season through
All right,
September.
listen, Lane has played pretty well.
816 OPS in his last 10. I'll take
Yeah.
it with 3 home runs.
Yeah, so
I'll take it.
Listen, I'm all about. He's our best outfielder right now hitting, so we'll take it. Now again,
But he's hurt.
I go back to giving props to Jones
As
and
long as he
Martinez
stays healthy, he'll be fine.
During a very down time for our team, they are playing well, and Stephen Kwan's hitting good at the top of the lineup too. Jose had a
What do you have,
tough
3
week.
hits today?
Yeah.
Steven
Jose
Kwan?
had a tough week, but I mean, Jose is going to be around, but Jose, you can't rely on Jose to win every game for you. And this is what happens if Jose has a down week when no one else is hitting. This is what happens. This is how it goes.
It's an unfortunate.
It's terrible that the entire offense relies on Kwan and Ramirez now. It really is.
It's been like this for-
even when we do get help, if one of those two isn't hitting exceptionally well that week, then here we are, 10-game losing streak.
It's been like this for 4 years now, though.
To be fair, this is nothing is being exposed here during this 10-game losing streak that we didn't already know going into the 10-game losing streak.
Yeah,
we knew our offense.
We're not going to pick it apart too
We
much.
knew our offense was struggling. If you listen to this show, you've been hearing us talk about the offense struggling since the beginning of the season. This was something that the front office needed to start addressing back in May.
Well,
this wasn't.
To be fair, they needed to start addressing this back in November.
Yeah, because last year we made a great run, and it was a fun team to watch, but we didn't score a bunch of runs. We didn't hit exceptionally well. We got great bullpen pitching. We had decent starting pitching, and we just
Played
scored
good
enough runs to win some
ran
games.
the base as well.
We weren't an offensive juggernaut by any stretch, and then we came into this season relying on some of those same guys that were kind of disappointing last year, and then bringing in a bunch of new people as well that we weren't sure of. So it was a tough season. We were hoping for better, but we didn't get it. So, I mean, here we are. This is no surprise. This is not a surprise. And I think now, to be honest, we have to start talking about next year. You're 15 and a half games out of first place in the division alone.
Yeah.
There's only 2 other teams in the American League with worse records than you. And thank God for the White Sox in our division, or we would have the worst record. And you're 6.5 out of the wild card. I mean, you're not even competitive in the wild card at this point. And we would have to go on like a 10-game winning streak to get back in it. And quite frankly,
We can't score the runs.
yeah, we can't score the runs to do that. We got to be honest.
That's under the assumption that other teams would be losing games as well. So I mean,
correct. That is, and other teams are not going to lose games.
Yeah, during this 10-game losing streak, and everyone in our division's like 5-5, so
Right.
or
like,
7-3,
Right.
or 6-4. Yes.
Yeah, your destiny is no longer in your own hands.
No. And I think that leads to us having to be realistic about what's going to happen this season now. The conversation has to change. Listen, I get leading up to this 10-game streak, the front office, the coaching staff was still defending everybody, and yes, you may
up until today.
Yeah,
they've been defending.
You might like the players, and you might like the team, and you might like the guys in the locker room, but this is baseball. You're trying to win games, so all that goes out the window when you go on a 10-game skid. I mean, that's got to go out the window. You got to stop talking like that. It's enough of the talk of, oh, we love this team, we were going to make this comeback. You're not making a comeback this year.
It's like they're trying to gaslight us into thinking that they were ever really good.
Right.
Hitting.
That's the thing.
They never had a good offense. We didn't.
This wasn't just a 10-game losing streak. This was a nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
This is your season now isn't salvageable at this point.
Right.
I mean, you're looking at a generational run just to get back in this thing.
Yeah, the realism just has to settle in
of
where we are as a team. This again,
we're not talking about a team that's going to go on and win 22 straight like we did. What was it, 2017?
And again, we've been spoiled. Listen, for the last 12 years, dozen years, okay, we have been competitive except for 2 years ago, which was Terry Francona's farewell season, which he kind of thumbed his nose at the front office and just did whatever he wanted. Except for that season, we have been in the hunt every single year. I mean, World Series, ALCS, we've been in the hunt every single year. And even the years we didn't make the playoffs, we were right there at 500. We were still competitive. So we've been spoiled for a dozen years. With really good teams that were competitive, and this is not a competitive team this year. So, and again,
This is
I
still
know
a team that's winning more games than they should.
and I'm not making excuses. Listen, we have had a lot of pitchers that are out. A lot of our best pitchers are still sidelined with injuries, are still not back yet. And even the ones who are starting to come back are not ready to really be back. And
the back end of our bullpen has not been
yes,
as advertised.
and we did not booster the offense in any way. We didn't. The front office made no moves, has made no changes to our offense whatsoever when you knew it wasn't good. So the excuses got to go out the window. Like, you got to check your egos here at the door if you're the front office, and you got to figure out how to salvage what's left of this season and create something good, some good momentum going into next year. Like, that's what we're really talking about. We're talking about next year now.
Right. So now the focus shifts, but there's kind of a duality to it. So now you're thinking trade deadline, right? But at the same time, you're looking at guys like Lane Thomas, guys like Carlos Santana, Jacob Junis, Paul Sewald, even Emmanuel Clase, guys that could be on the trade block who have kind of been on a roller coaster ride this year.
Yeah, I know, but I got to tell you,
Their
some of those guys
value-
have some good value. Though.
Some of those guys have some great value.
Yeah.
But the Jacob Junises and the Paul Sewalds and the Lane Thomases, they still kind of have to prove that they're worthy of playing for a contender.
Well, I do know this. Okay, I know the call has been to bring up Chase DeLauder. Now, listen, we said it last week on the show. We said it the week before on the show. No one's expecting Chase DeLauder to come up and change the fortunes of our team in his first 10 games.
No shot.
Okay, that's
Not even
that's
in
not what
his
we're talking
first
about.
half season.
We're talking about
let's be totally honest.
Yeah, we're talking about bringing a guy up to start getting major league at bats to help us for the long future. Like, this is a really good player, a really good hitter, maybe the best hitter in our organization outside of Jose Ramirez and Stephen Kwan, and he hasn't had the opportunity yet to play. So we have to make sure we get him up, get him into the rotation, and let him hit. Again, we've also talked about it time after time, right? Where we have Stephen Kwan, we have Jose, they're everyday players, right? Well, if Nolan Jones is leading our team in hitting for the last 7 games, then okay, play him every day. Why not? What are you platooning for? Like, forget about the platooning stats or what. Play a guy. Let's see what he can do against righties and lefties. If you believe in Angel Martinez and you think he can be an everyday kind of play him. Listen, there's guys who should be playing every day now because the platooning thing has to end. I know Carlos Santana is going to be a tough sell as far as the trade goes.
I don't know if he's going to be the toughest sell, though. I think there are a lot of playoff contending teams or teams that are still in the hunt that really desperately need first base help.
Agreed. And he's a veteran, and he's going to come through at some point. Like, I could see Carlos getting traded to a team that's in the playoff hunt and really, he's a good player. He understands the moment. He knows how to pick, so he could help them. So I think Carlos, but he has to go. He's not part of our future. He's not part of a team that's rebuilding now to try to get into next year.
This is where you pretty much have to sell anyone that's not tied down.
Well, I don't know. Listen, I know we've talked.
Well,
should we trade
the
Stephen
reason you
Kwan?
do? Well,
right?
that's a
Should
big
we?
one.
I don't think now. No,
I think
he could still be part of a really good winning team next year.
I think the phone lines are open. I'll just say that.
I don't disagree. People are going to be calling about Stephen Kwan.
And I know that's vague, but I think should the right offer present itself, you pull the trigger.
And I don't believe for 1 second that Stephen Kwan is going to stay in Cleveland when he hits free agency.
No,
I don't think. Listen, he has a chance to make a lot of money. Cleveland's had a chance to offer him a lot of money.
Chris
They haven't.
Antonetti offered him Miles Straw money.
Yeah,
so,
so you can't do that.
Yeah.
So, and he still has a home and a wife whose family lives in Chicago. So, do I think that he could wind up playing outfield for the Cubs?
He's a Bay
Yes.
Area kid.
Yes.
I mean, you could be looking at a situation where there are two contenders, one being the Chicago Cubs and one being the San Francisco Giants, that would both love to have him.
Yeah, and I am in no way saying that Stephen Kwan doesn't want to play in Cleveland. I think he likes it here. I think he's thrived here.
Keep him.
But we can't. We're not going to keep him, and we're not going to pay him the money that other teams are going to pay him.
The reality of it is he's not going to get paid in Cleveland. He doesn't have to take a pay cut. This will be his first real contract.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to take a pay cut.
No, he needs to go make money.
He's a multi-time All-Star. He's a multi-time Gold Glove winner.
And I don't hold that against him wanting to go make money because he should.
Not at all.
But it won't be with us. So, but I still think next year
you can't lose him for nothing.
No, listen, I think
the point.
I think you have to keep him for one more season because we have opportunity if we make the right moves with the right players and the right hitters coming up through our system, and if we can make some moves and some trades here with a Class A, with a Lane Thomas, with a Carlos Santana, if we can get some other pieces to fill in to get ready for next year, then I still think we can make a run.
Emmanuel Clase is probably your most tradable piece.
No doubt. No question.
There isn't one contending team that doesn't need back-end bullpen help.
With a team-friendly contract.
With a team-friendly contract, especially with a team-friendly contract.
Top closer with a team-friendly contract. It's a win-win if you want pieces for next year.
So there will potentially be a bidding war for Emmanuel Clase. If he is, I'm not even going to say if he is on the block. I know he's on the block. They're going to take phone calls on him.
And I hate to see him go because with our luck, we meet him in the World Series and he beats us. But
you know what? You got to cross that bridge when you get there.
Yeah, hopefully we get there.
That's the thing. If you have a chance to bolster your farm system with a haul of prospects from, say, the Dodgers, for instance, I mean, you're talking about you could potentially snag 3 top 10 prospects from the Dodgers who are probably going to go on to win back-to-back World Series.
Well,
it doesn't seem like a bad gig. If you can pull the trigger on that one, it doesn't seem too bad. Lane Thomas is a weird one. I think there's some value there because
I agree. I think
through struggles, he's a guy who historically hits left-handed pitching.
Well, and even with the injuries, he's still showed flashes here before he got hurt again. He showed that flash of, hey, I can still hit.
Right.
So that was positive, and I think teams will recognize that. And really, to be honest with you, think about this. It is a totally different world when you're hitting bottom half of the order on a team that's really hitting well and scoring runs, like a playoff team.
Yeah.
But and you're not playing on a team like us, where you have to hit at the top of the order, and you're struggling, and the whole team is struggling, and all the pressure's on you to hit every single time you come up to the plate.
I mean, if you think about it in terms of we could use the Cubs. If the Cubs need a fourth outfielder who hits lefties,
oh yeah,
you plug them in.
Sure.
If the Milwaukee Brewers are in the hunt and they need an outfielder that can hit lefties,
right?
Yeah, that's a cheap option.
Yep.
You know, you're sending a low A arm, a recent high school draft pick maybe.
Yeah.
In that move,
yeah.
which is good enough for Cleveland because he's blocking some serious talent right now.
Yeah.
Carlos Santana, switch hitter, veteran, takes walks. He's another one. If he's hitting 7th or 8th in your lineup in a role that isn't every day, then you're probably okay. But if he's hitting 4th in your lineup every single day, you're nowhere near a contending team.
Why does Zian look depressed over there? Zian, what's wrong?
How you doing over there?
Any of these players.
we just got to get through it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be
do you want to talk about Paul Sewald?
No, I don't want to talk about any of them.
Who do you
What
want to
about
talk?
Jacob
Zian, what do you want to
Junis?
talk about?
I don't want to talk about anything.
I think
I
Zian,
hate this team.
I think Zian is losing it.
So, Paul Sewald, he's coming back from injury. He just got activated. He hasn't thrown yet, but he's going to have to show something in order to have any sort of value. Because at this point, you have him signed through next year, but I don't think you're bringing him back.
Okay, so here's the thing. He has historical work.
Sure.
Okay, and if he comes back and shows even a flash of that historical stuff, then he's a tradable piece. It doesn't take much. Listen, here's my fear, and I brought this up earlier today. We were talking Shane Bieber. Okay, Shane Bieber is, throwing bullpens. He's starting to pitch to live pitching this week, I think, right? I mean, that was the report.
He threw live BP. This week, and he said from his own mouth, he said he felt great. So he felt great.
So here's my fear. Okay, here we are, kind of falling apart, right? We're going to be making trades. We're going to be building pieces. Hopefully, we're going to be making trades. Hopefully, we're going to be bringing people up. Hopefully, we're going to be making some moves to get some excitement going again and get some stuff going right for next year. Okay. Shane Bieber is signed through this year, and it's a
mutual
option. So next year, Shane Bieber and the team both have to agree for him to come pitch. The team is going to say, yes, we agree. We want you to come back and pitch for us next year. But Shane Bieber, here's the fear. Here's my fear with Shane Bieber. Shane Bieber comes out in September. Okay? Throws 2 starts for us. 2 starts.
Well, I think it'll be hopefully August.
I'm just saying.
Regardless, it'll be after the trade deadline.
Whatever. Hypothetically speaking, he comes back in late September, right? And he throws just 2 starts for us. He just says, you know what? I'm going to go out, see what I got. I feel great. I'm completely rehabbed, completely healthy, because there's really, at this point, there's no reason to throw Shane Bieber. He is not salvaging our season. Shane Bieber's not going to come back and win 30 games in a row for us. He is not going to throw 120 pitches a game. It's not going to happen. So he is not going to help us this year. So, but he comes back and he throws 2 games, and he looks like Cy Young Award, 10, 15 strikeout a game, Shane Bieber. And he only throws 2 games for us, which doesn't help us at all. And now he goes, and everyone gets to see how great he looks. And now he opts out. And we rehabbed him. He comes and throws 2 games for us, which are meaningless, and he gets a huge contract and walks away. I would not listen, nothing against Shane Bieber, nothing against him wanting to throw. I would not throw him in a game this year. No chance. 0 chance of him not, because if he looks great, then he walks with a big contract to somebody else, to the Dodgers next year, and we get nothing. We get nothing for it. I am, before I put him on the mound, and again, this is a business move, nothing against Shane Bieber. I love Shane Bieber. Nothing against him. He does everything right. But I would tell him before he stepped on the thing, you need to agree to be back here next year before we let you step on the mound.
I think the point is you want him back. You want him in Cleveland, because at this point, your season is so far gone.
But you are not going to get him back.
You're getting nothing from him this year. The only thing he's doing is padding stats to sign his next contract.
Yes. So I would not let him throw unless he agreed to come back next season for us. He would not throw a pitch in Cleveland this year.
And something inside me kind of already feels as though he signed that contract, that 1-1 with the mutual option. I feel like he signed that contract under the pretense that he will be back for that second year. I'm really hoping. I have this feeling.
He signed it if this rehab went bad, and then he needed another year.
That's right.
I think
if there was any setbacks,
I think he's coming back next year no matter what. And but I think it was because he knew there was going to be setbacks.
Anyone can say they're coming back next year until someone throws a $150 million contract down. Then what? Are you coming back next year?
Sure. I just you're
going to turn down the $150 million contract to come back.
You're not doing that.
You're not doing that. He's not doing that. Nobody's doing that.
Like you said, if he throws for you 1 game, 1 start, 2 starts, and looks like a superstar, he's getting signed somewhere.
We know that 1,500 at bats controlling all our young players. Why would we throw Shane Bieber and not try to control him for another year? It makes no sense whatsoever to throw him in a game. None.
So let's move on. What else should we be looking for from here on out? We're hoping to see some prospect promotions.
I don't think at this point.
At this point, I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if it makes sense to bring up DeLauder until after you clean house.
No, listen. Listen, you have 7 games before the All-Star break. You have 7 games. You need Carlos Santana to show something.
Right.
You need Paul Sewald to show something. You need Lane Thomas.
Lane Thomas isn't even going to be back.
Right, he's not going to be back, but he already showed that he can still do this, so it's okay. But you need any other piece that you're thinking about putting on the block to show, okay, I can do this for another team. So it literally at this point, I know we've been screaming for him to come up, but that was when we thought he could help to turn the season around.
Yeah.
Now it's more of a clear space for him to get playing time when he comes up. So now
you have to clear the runway now.
You got to clear the runway.
I mean, there's no two ways about it, because at one point we're talking about, DFA Lane Thomas.
Yeah.
DFA Carlos Santana. No, that's not going to happen at this point. You can't let these guys go without getting anything in return. You've lost your entire season.
It makes no sense to bring him up before you start making these deals and moving these players.
Right.
But then once you do, he needs to come up and play every single day.
Right.
Not
finish the season.
Sit in the dugout 3 nights a week. No. He needs to come up and play, and Kafis needs to come up and play, and Brito's not going to be.
Brito's
hamstring issue, so of course he's not coming up. But I'm telling you right now,
you waited so long on Juan Brito.
Yep. And I'm telling you right now,
he has nothing left to prove.
You have nothing left to prove with anybody. I bring up Gano. I bring him up from Double A to play
at the very least
for you and see what he can do.
At the very least, you have to get him to AAA.
That's right. You need a star.
You got to get him to AAA, because at some point next year, he's going to be your starting shortstop in the big leagues.
He should be. And quite frankly, as soon as Bazana's ready, he needs to be in AAA coming back. Why put him in Double A? There's no.
It makes no sense.
It's not a good. He needs to be up. Playing against competition.
He has to be getting major league at bats next year.
Absolutely.
So he needs to be in AAA.
And then the deals. Listen, the deals we make for these players, we need to really consider, getting pieces for next year, getting pieces who are maybe AAA guys who should be up for other teams.
There are a handful of blocked AAA
prospects
for teams like New York and teams like LA.
They're blocked by players that are never going to move.
And they've already been developed by some of the top pitching coordinators and hitting coordinators in the league. Yep. And so you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about bringing them in and them struggling for you because your hitting coordinators suck.
And again,
they've already been developed.
And quite frankly, possibly the best closer in baseball could be on your roster for your playoff run. And it makes no sense for you not to give up a guy who's blocked anyway, who's one of the top prospects in your organization, but he's blocked, for a guy to help you win a championship now.
All that is super depressing. So let's take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about Jose and Kwan in the All-Star game and a little bit of Luis Ortiz. If you're serious about your game, you've got to check out 44 Pro. They make fully customizable baseball or softball gear made with pro-level quality. And the best part, you design it your way. From colors to stitching, every detail is yours to choose. And here's a bonus. Use the code DHGuards25, that's DHGUARDS25, and get 25% off now through the end of July. Order today and get great custom gear delivered right to your door. Click the link in the episode description below and start creating your gear. 44 Pro, custom is better. And we're back. Let's talk a little bit of positivity before we get back into the negativity. Or do you guys want to do bad news first? Good news, bad news.
No, I'm all about positive. Let's go.
You want to do positivity? All right.
Good news.
Jose
and
Stephen Kwan selected to the 2025 All-Star Game.
Thank God.
Congratulations. Round of applause.
Round of applause.
They get a vacation.
Well done.
Yes. No, Jose deserves it. Stephen deserves it. They
absolutely.
did. They've carried it. I mean, listen, they've been the two best players.
You think it's going to be like a crazy culture shock for them to be in a clubhouse with like good baseball.
Good
players.
baseball. Oh, dude, what?
Yeah.
When was the last time they were? Last All-Star game?
I will say this.
Jose, it's got to be like 2020.
I will say this. Jose, Jose is one of those guys that when he even today, right? Today, he goes up. The Detroit Tigers, they're by far the best team in our division. They're blowing everybody out.
And for the record, Detroit is real.
Yeah,
They're a legit.
They are. They're legit.
Championship contender.
They got great pitching. They got a bunch. They got bats. They got a little bit of everything.
They got
I don't know
they
if
got a
they're
little bit of
real,
everything.
but I know that we're really bad. So.
I think
they're real. Listen,
I don't know. They had
they're not just beating our interdivision teams.
No, they had 2 hits against us yesterday, and they didn't have any more hits
Yeah,
against
but our
us until
starting
the 10th inning today. So.
Time out. Our starting pitching hasn't been bad.
No, our starting
No,
pitch
I
has
know.
actually been really
I'm just
good.
saying,
Pitch has
if
been
we
the
had any
bright
bats,
spot.
we'd have won this series. So it doesn't matter.
True, but I'm just telling. But we could be a
So
good team if we.
I
had
don't think the
bats.
Tigers. I think they're.
Well,
us
don't
last
forget.
year.
Don't forget. We went to the
They're who we
ALCS
were
last year.
Yeah, but we didn't
weren't
deserve
frauds going to the
We didn't deserve
ALCS.
to be
There's
there.
no. We weren't frauds.
Well,
We were
we'll find
No.
out. We'll find out if they
Because we beat the Tigers team, who had one pitcher
Listen,
and no lineup.
I think we were a good team last year. I just think we choked against the Yankees. It had nothing to do. I think our players just choked.
Our players were never.
We'll
good.
see if Detroit chokes. We'll see. We'll see if they do. But
They're super young.
They are a lot like us last year. You're right about that. But I will say this. I will listen. Jose, even today against the Tigers, again in a pitcher's duel, no one's scoring runs. We get up, and Jose comes up with 2 guys on. We're up a run. He comes up with guys on second and third, and with a base open, and they don't hesitate. He doesn't get to the plate,
Right.
and the other dugout's calling for. And Jose's not hit well this week at all. But the other team's like, no, we're not giving him a chance to beat us. Like, there's no chance. And they walked him, and it worked out because Santana pops out. And then, of course, we all know what happened at the end of the game with the pass ball, scores a run, and then they go on to blow us out in the 10th inning.
He's pound for pound the most dangerous hitter in baseball.
So when he walks in a dugout, okay, everyone has. I think every team we played has like walked him intentionally at some point now. So when he walks into a dugout at an All-Star game, there's it has to be like,
You
holy
take
crap,
notice,
dude.
yeah, it's-
With the young guys making the team, he has to be like, holy crap, that's Jose.
I mean, we're talking
There's
about
Jose Ramirez.
We're talking about you walk into an All-Star dugout, and it's Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, Jose Ramirez. Like, those 3 are the guys that the young
Mike
All-Stars
Trout
are.
might be sitting over there.
Those are the guys that the young All-Stars are going, holy crap.
Yeah, look at who's sitting in the dugout
Yeah.
with me. I am sitting next to Jose Ramirez, a future
No
Hall
doubt.
of Famer.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
This
cool.
is his 7th All-Star selection.
Yeah,
Well
deserved as well.
tied for second most in franchise history, along with Lou Boudreau, Larry Doby, Ken Keltner, and Bob Lemon.
and by far, the most team-friendly contract in all of baseball.
Oh,
Possibly.
Well,
Or except maybe Ronald
Maybe
Acuna.
Acuna.
Maybe
Yeah.
Ronald Acuna's is better.
Probably.
But Jose is number 2.
And all those names that I just mentioned are second to only Bob Feller, who had 8 All-Star selections. So another All-Star selection puts him tied for first all-time in franchise history. This is his 5th consecutive All-Star selection, and his 4th time as a starter, which is an All-Star, or which is a franchise record.
All right, and listen, speaking of Jose, okay, the greatness of Jose deserves a chance in this horrible season that we're having to go after that 40-40 that he almost got last year, and I know that he's on a mission to try to do that again. I know that's a goal in his mind to be able to do that. So since this season is kind of a lost cause as far as playoffs go, they need to get him that 40. They need to move him up to number 2, hitting in the lineup, get him as many possible at bats as they can possibly get him the rest of the season, get him on base as many times as they can. RBIs don't mean a thing.
I mean,
who cares?
Quite honestly, if you lead him
he
off,
needs to be able
I'm
to
not
get up.
going to object.
Yes, he needs to hit home runs. He needs to get doubles, and he needs to get steals for him to do the 40-40-40. So we need to help him do that, and that means putting him at number 2 hitting every day. Forget about hitting him third. Forget about what's best for the team. You need to do what's best for Jose Ramirez.
get him those numbers because he deserves it. He's taken a pay cut for you.
So
He's done everything you needed him to do.
Everyone needs to write, email, text everybody in the Guardians organization.
Apparently
and tell
they don't
them,
listen. So
move
don't.
Jose.
They hear us.
They need
just
to.
They
do
ignore us
the
on
exact
purpose,
opposite.
so.
They need move him to second. He needs to hit second. Stephen Boat, if you hear this at all, anything about this show at all, you need to move Jose to second so he can chase 40-40-40. Do him the favor for the first time in the franchise. Do Jose the favor and let him go after what he needs to go after for his Hall of Fame future.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that 100%. As for Stephen
I'm off
Kwan,
my soapbox now. That's my soapbox moment of the day.
As for Stephen Kwan, this will be his second overall and second consecutive. And I have a note here that this could be his last with Cleveland. So here, let me just say.
I don't think that's true.
Let me just say.
I don't think that's true.
Enjoy him.
Yes.
How
I
about
think that's
that?
true. And listen, I
We'll
will
leave
say
it
this
there.
about Steven. We need Steven to come out like a ball of fire at the end after the All-Star break. Like last year, he had some downtime after the All-Star break where he wasn't playing all that well. And he needs to come out and just be great all season long. Hit 300, score as many runs as you can.
Yeah.
Get as many stolen. He needs to start putting those career numbers together because he is playing for a mega $1 million contract.
And quite honestly,
he needs to go get it.
Jose is the engine, right? But Stephen Kwan is the fuel.
Yes.
I mean, those are just the facts.
But from now on, they should 1, 2 every night. I don't care
from
who
there, it
hits
doesn't
behind
matter.
them. It doesn't matter.
It-
But they hit 1,
honestly,
and they hit 2, and that's it.
if you hit Jose 1, you got Stephen Kwan protecting him at number 2.
Yeah, whatever.
So,
However you
do
want to
what
do
you
it.
will with that information.
Whatever you want to do it to get Jose as many at bats as possible, that's what you need to do.
I couldn't imagine a world where you wouldn't at least try to make this second half enjoyable for someone.
Yes.
For someone.
And watching Jose chase a historic 40-40-40 season might be the only saving grace of this team this year.
I don't think that would play negatively with anybody.
No.
Fans, players, front office, coaches.
Just go to the games and cheer for Jose to get on base and steal a base and hit a double and hit a home run. Just go
it
cheer
at
for
least
him.
gives you something.
Go watch Stephen Kwan go 3 for 4 as many times as he can possibly go. Whatever.
All right.
But at least it gives us something to look forward to.
Quick transition, something to look forward to that isn't so positive. We're finally going to talk about Luis Ortiz.
Zian, this is your favorite. This is your player
guy.
of the week.
This is your guy.
This is your player of the week.
I'm just going to run down this real quick, okay? I'm sure everybody's heard by now. If you haven't, I don't know, you waited too long to listen to this show to get your news because it's everywhere.
If you're getting your news from this show,
that's weird.
it's
I'm
trouble.
sorry.
You're in trouble.
We don't know anything. Luis Ortiz was placed on non-disciplinary paid leave while the MLB investigates a potential betting scandal. This stems from 2 separate instances of prop bets that were flagged by a betting integrity firm. These 2 specific pitches received an irregular influx of money. The first pitch being the second inning on June 15th against the Mariners. It was the first pitch of the second inning, and he spiked it. And the first pitch of the third inning on June 27th against the Cardinals, which was probably the most egregious.
It was he bounced it way outside.
He bounced it about 20 feet short.
In both cases, though, what happened was there was a spike in betting that there would be a ball thrown on that particular
pitch.
And he threw the ball egregiously.
We're talking about prop bets that people don't generally take. You don't 50-50 odds for a ball or a strike. I mean, I guess if you're really into advanced metrics and you understand that Luis Ortiz kind of struggles to find the zone early on, like it kind of adds up a little bit. But that would explain why he did it.
So
also.
basically, the amount of betting that happened, and then for the outcome to be that, made it
Major red flag. Yeah.
something strange here because
Major red flag.
Because think about how many first pitches of an inning there are that are bet on in Major League Baseball every day, and for those to be flagged, that tells you how much betting was done on those particular pitches.
Yeah. I didn't see any specific figures, and I'm sure they may be out somewhere. If not, they'll come out eventually.
So, yeah, they'll come out eventually. But if he did it,
but you know,
it's bad news.
I don't know. We don't know Luis Ortiz. He's only been with the organization for a little while now. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say that he did it, but those pitches were pretty egregious. And I know he's had issues in the past where he was a really old international signing. He almost gave up on baseball. He was working on a farm back home. I mean, there's a lot. If you dive deep into Luis Ortiz, there's a lot that comes along with him. So you know, and he's still under. But he's still under a rookie contract. It's not like he's making money.
Yeah, this will play itself out. So what's going to happen is they're going to do this investigation into the people who placed the bets, and if any of those people
are connected with him,
tied to him in any way,
those are bets. Those are bets placed on his own team.
Yeah,
on himself.
Then this is going to look bad, and if
that will be a ban for life.
And if there's any monies, like suddenly he gets into a bank account based off of, shortly after these bets were made and paid out,
they will find all that out.
Yeah, it's going to be trouble. But I mean, again, we don't know if any of that's true, but it's probably not a tough trail to follow to figure out if he was involved or not. So it's just talking to enough people and tracing the money.
So at this point, in the short term, how does that affect things? Well, obviously, mentally, the team is kind of already struggling, and this is just a fatal blow, man.
Yeah, just kind of kicking the teeth.
A guy that you hang around every day. I'm sure. If I had to guess, no one knew this was going on. And listen, if it was going on, no one knew about it. And
even if he did it, in his mind, he's thinking, okay, it's just one ball.
Yeah, it's just one pitch,
and I can make some money. It's one
just
pitch.
Just a couple pitches.
But the fact that you would do that just to your team in general is a weird. That's a weird thing, and people are not going to receive that well in the dugout. I can tell you that.
It's not only disgusting to do to your team, but it just isn't smart by any means. I don't care how foolproof you think it is. It's just dumb.
Yeah,
you're putting your entire career, your entire life from here on out on the line, basically.
Your opportunity to make millions and millions of dollars may have been
just thrown out the
window for
throw
whatever.
A 99-mile-an-hour sinker, you're going to get paid at something.
Yeah, you were about to get paid.
Absolutely,
when your rookie contract was up, you were going to get paid. So
it's just crazy to me. I got to tell you, I think he did it. I really do. Watching those pitches, I know he has control issues, but they seem perfectly placed.
Yeah, it's not every day that a betting amount is flagged.
Right.
On a particular
it's never
flagged. So this isn't something that's common that you get investigated for something like that.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. I would say in the long term the odds are not in his favor. We're probably looking at a lifetime ban from baseball for Luis Ortiz.
Good trade.
Yeah,
good trade.
It just
Well, I don't think anyone could have foreseen what someone was going to do. I'm not.
Listen, no, I don't. I agree.
When we made the trade, there was a guy with crazy good stuff that was kind of a little erratic. We felt like our, pitchers usually do better when they come to Cleveland. So,
but
we thought for sure, and he did. He did do better. So, I don't know if it was a bad trade. I think it's just a bad outcome by someone who wasn't really doing the right thing.
They should investigate all those 6-run innings too.
I'm sure they're going to look into a lot more now.
We have too many. We have given up too many 6-run innings to investigate them all.
They're going to look into a lot more of Luis Ortiz now.
Yes.
I'm assuming going back to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think so. I think any spike in any bet and anything he was involved in is going to be looked at
even in the
now.
slightest.
So especially if any of this stuff comes true. So,
but also on the other side of things, the universe has a way of coming back to bite you. And the things that this organization has been doing to their prospects and underpaying guys and kind of working in the shadows, I mean, this could be part of that.
You're throwing the karma at him.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Throwing karma at him.
This could be things coming back to bite them.
Listen, all I'm saying is this: there's a couple things the front office has to do now. Okay.
Chop off all their arms out of.
Okay, we're just
what?
We're just like doing some crazy what?
Well, out of like.
What are you talking about?
No, not solidarity. Out of like they have to pay their penance for their crimes.
I don't think that's true.
All right, an
crimes
arm for
against
an arm.
humanity.
Hey, yeah.
All right.
Arm
So
for
listen,
an arm.
but here's the deal, Anthony. You got to check your ego here. Like enough with the ego. Listen, we get.
I think
we got to stop.
League-wide, he's been regarded as a genius for far too long.
Well, I know there's a business model that we follow. I get it. I know why we follow it. I don't think you've done bad business since you've been. I really do think but I think now this is a punishment to the fans because you're not doing the right things. So you have to stop. Your business model doesn't work. It's not working. So you got to stop. You got to change it. You got to fix it. You got to fix your business model. Your problem is you haven't been you have left prospects in the lurch to rot in AAA, to rot in AA, to rot in single A for too long. You've molded them into minor league players. They've come up and haven't been able to produce. It's a bad business model. You're not doing things right by your players. You know you're never going to be able to pay them a bunch of money. So why not get them at their prime? Why not bring them up and let them work through it in the major leagues and get a bunch of young players that can really make a run when they're ready? Because you wait too long and then bring them up and they're past the ability to make the adjustments at the major league level.
At what point?
It's like they have nothing left to prove in the minor leagues, and now you're in a season where now not only do you need to bring prospects up for them to prove themselves, but now you need to make trades to bring in more guys to help for the future. And I don't know that you're that good at doing that.
No.
That's part of the problem I see right now is
you're going to be looking to bring in more guys to develop. I don't know.
Right, you're going to bring in more guys to sit in AAA for 1,000 at bats.
Yeah.
Like, boy, I don't see that. I think you need to bring in guys that are ready to come up.
At what point do you throw that extra year of control out the window? Because name.
Yeah, it's not helping you.
Name the list of guys that have gotten to that extra year.
So that's number one. Okay.
I mean, really?
Yeah, and that's number one. That's the thing. You got to control this situation, right, and do the right things. And then number two, you need to take care of Jose Ramirez right now.
Yep.
Like, you need to put him number 2 in the lineup. You need to get him enough at bats. You need to help him chase a historic season. Give him all the support he needs. Put someone who's hitting well behind him so they can't just walk him all the time now.
After we trade Santana and we have the money off the books, you should really just extend Jose. Give him whatever money he wants.
He in jest asked for another extension, which I know deep down is probably serious. I would imagine he wants to end his career in Cleveland.
We should give him $30 million a year at least.
Why not get him an actual paycheck?
Something he's put a lot of money in the Doyle family's pocket.
Dolan
family's pocket. That's where he's put money in your pocket. So it's time for you.
We're gonna have the money.
Time for you to pay it back.
Yeah.
Time for you to pay it back now.
Because the ownership change.
He deserves it.
$55 million coming.
He deserves it.
I can't imagine they're going to reinvest any of it.
I'm telling you right now, his agent should have been fired when he signed that contract. His agent should have jumped across the table, grabbed Jose's pen out of his hand, and tackled him to the ground and said, "Don't sign that contract." And he did it anyway, and he put money in your pocket, and now you need to pay him back.
I like
you
Rafa.
Need to take care of him.
I like Rafa. I'm a fan.
Yeah,
but
he should have been fired.
That's
the worst contract.
He shouldn't have let Jose sign that contract
ever.
Let's get to a couple updates here before we get out. We already talked about Shane Bieber. He threw a little bit of live BP at Progressive Field. Said he felt great. Again, I don't think there's any point in throwing him.
Someone go karate chop his elbow.
Don't let him throw this year and sign a huge contract with the Dodgers for next year. Someone stop him.
They have like 15 starters.
Shane,
on
we
their
love you, and we
roster.
only say this because we want you back pitching in Cleveland. We do not want to see you pitching for the Dodgers healthy when we're the ones who rehabbed you.
Just a little bit of inflammation. Not too much.
Yeah.
Just enough. Travis Bazzana. There's a name we haven't heard in a minute.
Oh, here's another one.
Activated in Arizona to begin his rehab assignment.
Number one,
Went over.
Travis Bazzana.
That's okay. It's
Why did he spend so much time in single A? Travis Bazzana, why is he now spending so much time? He needs to be in AAA getting ready to come up. Like, there is no excuse that he does not need to work on single A pitching or double A. He needs to be up in AAA being against competitive guys who are trying to make the major leagues so he can prove himself. Stop putting these guys down where they take 1,000 at bats before they come up. Stop it.
So Travis Bazzana, I mean, basically the gist of it is Travis Bazzana and Angel now should be in AAA. That way
Absolutely.
they have a chance to debut next June.
How about next spring? Next spring is when they should debut.
Yeah, it's time.
AAA the rest of the year, debuting next spring.
The entire organization needs to shift mentally, physically, emotionally.
In fact, I would bring Ganao up now to play shortstop.
We know that's not going to happen.
How many more major league at bats is Brian Rocchio going to get to hit 110? What are we doing?
How many more at-bats is Bo Naylor going to get?
How many more bats is Bo Naylor? So
Cooper Engel should be up.
I don't understand what
Cooper
we're
Engel
doing.
should absolutely be getting ready.
Cooper Engel's another one. He needs
I
to
would
be in
love to
AAA.
see him in September.
He needs to be in AAA, getting ready to come up. These are like, it makes no sense for us to continue to do this with these minor league guys who have potential. No sense whatsoever.
Quick shout out to our Week 3 giveaway winner. We'll do this while we're a little heated right now.
Something good? We're going to do something good. All right,
yeah.
Let's do it.
Andrew Codding, a.k.a. Codding Andrew 13 on Twitter. If that's you, please shoot me a message. You can find me on Twitter at Don't Mess It Up and DH_guards. Or you can leave a comment on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts to claim your autographed CJ Kafis card, who we're not going to see this year.
We should see him soon.
So that's cool.
After the All-Star break.
Congrats on that. Shoot me a message. I'll get that out to you. Otherwise,
and thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Please like, subscribe, favorite, rate, or review depending on your platform of choice. And don't be afraid to interact. You can find us on YouTube, Amazon, Spotify, Apple, or wherever else you listen to your podcasts. Check out our giveaway on Twitter, Week 4. This is a final week of giveaways. It will be revealed on Monday, so please be on the lookout. And again, if you're listening on Tuesday, then you've missed the reveal on Monday. So get to Twitter and check it out. The season's basically a wash, but there should be some exciting moves at least left to come.
We need to make some exciting moves. The front office needs to make some exciting moves.
We got the draft, the trade deadline, and hopefully some promotions to look forward to. So until next time, have fun, stay safe, and as always, go Guards.
See ya.